What's going on, everybody? This is John J Gaming on the mic here, coming at you with a brand new episode of the Realignment Dynasty here on NCAA 14, featuring that college football revamp, of course. We are out here, man. We are 7-0 right now, and we are the #1 team in the country. But we're going to try to keep that momentum rolling here as we keep things going here in great Mid-Eastern Conference play. This time we are taking on the Akron Zips, and you know, they got a decent little record, 3-3, but on paper, we should be a lot better than them. B+ overall team, B offense, B+ defense. They're a C overall team, C+ offense, a C defense themselves. Not to mention, their starting quarterback right now, their starting quarterback is hurt, and we are going to be at home as well, taking on a team that has lost 3 of its last 4 games. So if we do what we're supposed to do, you know, we could very well be easily making this a doubleheader, or at least cutting this game a little bit on the short side. You know, maybe take a look at some of your guys' custom prospects, see how they're doing in terms of, you know, have some of the newer customs, have they signed on the dotted line? Because I know I haven't reviewed them yet, and I do apologize for that. So here's the hoping we can make that happen here in this episode. Should be a fun one. Make sure you go ahead, smack that like button, hit that subscribe button as well if you do have to be brand new to the channel. And with that, I will catch you guys on the football field. Let's see if we can keep that unbeaten streak going versus the Akron Zips. Let's get it. Alright, boys, so we did end up going ahead and losing the coin toss, and Akron's going to give us the football first, man. Let's see if this Billy Hammond-led football team can get off to a hot start here. And speaking of Billy Hammond, he's going to go ahead, take it right up the gut for a gain of 8. And we're going to go to that run game early, even though Akron, they put 9 guys in the box up against us. That don't even matter to us, though. We're still going to go ahead and run it right down your throat, and we'll still pick up that first down. We came to play today, and so does Cortez Mills, who takes an absolute shot. He's still going to hang on to the football, however, but then, very next play, we get a run up the middle for Bobby Russ, but he fumbles the football, and Akron's going to recover it, man. His fumbling issues, for as great of a running back he has been, it's been a problem. That is another fumble for him, and we just can't have that from a lead tailback. Don't know what I'm going to do with that running back position at this point, but with that being said, Akron is going to take over, so our defense is going to get put in a pretty compromising position. And now they take over. We're going to get the first points of this game as Patrick Goshwin can't bring him down in the backfield, man. So Joshua Abrams is able to escape and pick up 11 yards on the ground. And we already got our first red zone opportunity for the Akron Zips. Abrams, he's going to take it upfield. This time Patrick Goshwin is going to be able to go ahead and make the tackle. But it's now a goal line situation, and the Zips look to punch it in. Parrish fronts it over to the left-hand side and finds the end zone. Touchdown, Akron. There is a penalty on the field, but it's going to be called against one of our defensive linemen. So we don't get any love in that situation. We're already down 7-0. So our offense had a pretty solid drive last time out, but it was ruined by the turnover bug. We'll see if we can do a little bit better this time around. As Billy Hammond does get a great rush, but we get yet another penalty on the field. And this time it's going to be a clipping penalty by Cortez Mills. It's away from the play too. So instead, it's a 2nd and long that we got to deal with, man. What are we doing? But with that being said, Leslie Johnson will at least pick up that first down for us. 26 yards on the reception. So it's back to business as we try to tie the game up against this Akron squad. As Russ, he's able to bounce it outside. Oh, if he got away from that last defender. I really thought he was going to take it to the crib. Still a solid run from our tailback. And it's going to be 3rd and short. Going back to our freshman budding star. Russ runs it up the gut, and the offensive line creates the space required in order to pick up that first down for us. So that does continue to drive for us as we'll go ahead and go back to the ground game. But this time, Aaron Hines is going to get his first carry of the day, and he has really good results. 10 yards on the carry. So now it's 2nd and inches. They did not give us the first down there. But Billy Hammond will make sure that happens for us here as we'll move the ball up a few yards. So now we're closing in on a red zone opportunity ourselves. We're going to score. Hammond, he's going to stiff arm over a defender. Does not give it off to Bobby Russ there. Might not trust the fumbling. I don't know what's going on with that, but definitely felt like we missed out on a first down. As we'll try to pick it up with our ground game again. Russ up the middle of the field. He's going to plow himself forward for a gain of 6. And that will be enough to go ahead and move the chains. As now, 1st and 10. Hammond looks to the right-hand side and throws a dot to Cortez Mills into the end zone. Touchdown, Spartans. How about Billy Hammond just throwing it on a tightrope as that safety was coming over quickly. If that ball was delivered a little bit too late, that could have been intercepted. Great timing there. And now we got ourselves a tied football game. And we got to go ahead and find a way to contain Raymond Crawford. He looked pretty sharp on that last possession. As we'll see if we can force them to go ahead and keep this game tied. Crawford looking over to the right-hand side, and it's almost intercepted. Mike Scott had his hands on the football, and he cannot corral it in there, unfortunately. So that's going to be 3rd down coming up for us here as we'll try to get him off the field. Crawford looking over the middle and finds Matthew Williams in the middle of our defense. It was a tight throw, but Crawford found a way to stick it in there. That's a huge pause moment. Is now 1st and 10. Crawford's going to run it up the right-hand side. Gets it to Abrams on the perimeter. Lyles can't bring him down initially. It's going to be Early Austin that's going to come in there and clean up the tackling. And it leads to another 3rd down. Can we get him off the field this time around? Maybe the second time is the charm. Abrams going to move somebody out into motion as Crawford's still sitting in. Looks like a shotgun formation here as they're going to... No, it's not a screen. Crawford gets away from one defender. And Craig Harvey comes in and deflects the pass away. That will force Akron to punt the football away. And we'll take back over here inside our own 20-yard line. They pinned us pretty deep. So we go to work here on our next offensive possession. And we start with a throw to the right-hand side to the tight end Mike Holt, who was able to beat the linebacker on the perimeter. So that will make it a 1st down for the Spartans as we continue to try to pass the ball downfield. Cortez on the out route, able to win his route on the outside. It's not a 1st down, though. We'll see if we go back to the running game as we are going down to the final play of this 1st quarter. And Bobby Russ gets stuck behind the line of scrimmage. So we will have to punt the football away ourselves, and that does wrap up the 1st quarter of action. We got ourselves a tie ball game. So welcome back to the 2nd quarter of action as we did end up forcing a 3 and out once we were forced to punt the football away. But now we got to get some points of our own as Hammond, he is running low on time, but finds Mike Holt at the last second for a massive gain. And here comes the Spartans. We're going to rally back. Throwing to the left-hand side to Cortez Mills. Gets it on the bubble screen there. It's an 8-yard catch. Not a huge game, but forcing the defense to guard the sides a little bit. It will eventually open up that middle of the field if we can keep doing a good job with that. And how about Bobby Russ staying on his feet there? That's 11 yards on the carry. And it's now 1st and goal. Hammond, play action. He's got some time initially, but we are hit as we threw the ball. If we were able to get it out to Perry Robinson, that was going to be a walk-in touchdown. But instead, it's going to be 3rd and goal. Hammond in the shotgun. Akron has 8 in coverage. Looking. They got it covered really well, and we have to get rid of it. We don't turn the football over at least, but we only get a field goal out of that. But in spite of that, we do end up taking the lead. Up 10-7 now. As Akron will bring its offense back out onto the field. They did have a 3 and out on their previous possession. We'll see if they can avoid having 2 of those in a row. Although they have struggled with 3rd down conversions early. Only 1 for 3 as Crawford drops back. He's going to look over the middle of the field. He finds Williams. And that is going to be Mike Scott that was on the coverage. He can't even bring him down either. And it's a first down for the Zips as they go back to that ground game. Abrams, he's been having a good job on the ground, actually. He's going to pick up 14 there on the carry, as that will get him deep into our territory. And we're going to get into field goal range. Abram runs it up the gut once more. He's met by Patrick Goshwin. But with how big that hole was, no surprise they picked up a few more yards. As now, 2nd and 5. Crawford looks to the left-hand side, dumps it off to Jared Parrish, the backup tailback, who can't get himself in bounds. And they actually lose yards off of that. So now it's 3rd and long. We're going to go ahead and call up this blitz here, see if we can get home to the quarterback, and we do! Let's go, baby! That is the freshman, Blake Parsons, and that does knock them out of field goal range. You love to see it. So Akron forced to get rid of the football. They punt it away, and now we have a chance to pull away here in this football game. 2nd and 10. We'll see if Bobby Russ can break one here. I like the blocking matchup. Russ on the inside. He's going to go cut it inside. A little bit harder to run on that front than what was anticipated. But we still managed to pick up a few yards, as that will make it 3rd and short for us. As we'll try to screen to the right-hand side. Gets it out to Marcus Wiggins. He even makes a nice little cut there on the outside. We haven't said his name much all year long, but he does get on the stat sheet for the very first time today. And it's going to be a first down from Spartans. As now, 2nd and 6. Russ runs it up the middle again. How about this rushing attack looking good? Almost 100 yards on the ground already. We're looking really good so far today, at least with our rushing attack, besides the fumble. The fumble you hate to see. But we should reach that 100-yard mark as a football team here on this drive if everything goes well. But first, got to pick up this first down. I'm liking the matchup, so we're going to go with 4 verts till it hurts. Hammond to the right-hand side. He's going to throw over the middle. He finds an open Mike Holt, and it's a massive gain. Now in the red zone, and we're looking to finish the drive. 1st and 10. Hammond looks left, gets it out to Perry Robinson. He's going to fight for the end zone. It's fumbled. Davis is going to recover the fumble here. And was he down? Was Perry Robinson down? He was fighting for extra yards, trying to dive it into the end zone. And it looks like that knee was down, and after a review, they do give us the football back inside the 1-yard line. Next play, following the fumble recovery, Hammond tries to get rid of it, tries to throw it towards the end zone, but he does take a shot there. He will remain in the game, however. Next play, 2nd and goal. It's Hammond on the speed option. He's just going to take it in all by himself and finishes the job. Touchdown, Spartans. 17-7 now is going to be your score at the moment. You love to see it, as that will now give it another 1st and 10. 17-7 being your score. We force Akron to go 3 and out, so a chance to possibly go out here and make this a 3-score game going into halftime. I would certainly love that. As Hammond looking to find some space downfield, he's going to throw a rope over to Cortez Mills, who gets himself out of bounds. And we still have a couple of timeouts to play with. Hammond dropping back, looks over the middle. He finds an open Wesley Johnson, who gets lit up like a Christmas tree. But we move to the line quickly. We still got some time to work with. We try to go with the read option. Hammond can't pick up the first down. We will use our timeouts. And we did eventually have to settle for the field goal. But a great first half for us here so far. We're up 20-7 as of right now. So we'll see if we can pull away from this Akron squad. They've given us a little bit of trouble here. And see, here we go. 2nd and 3. Abrams, left-hand side. He's going to be able to get to the outside. Able to get some leverage out there. He gets out of bounds as well. Joshua Abrams being a bright spot for the Akron offense. He's got 80 yards on the ground. As they look over the middle on a passing attempt, it's Terrence Crawford there that is able to make a play out to Ryan Greer. Do they run it though? They do. Trying to get it out to Crawford. Lyles had him wrapped up but can't bring him down. Early Austin is going to make the tackle. We really should have had him behind the line of scrimmage, though. You absolutely hate to see it. So now, another 1st and 10. Crawford, again, looks over the middle. And Kenneth Woods is going to break it up. So this is the situation that we want them to be in. They haven't been able to pass the football as effectively. And this is what I want. 3rd and 9. Crawford brings him down. No! Brewster's going to make the catch. He fights forward. But he will be short of that 1st down marker. What will they do here on 4th down? And it looks like they're actually going to try to go ahead and go for the long field goal. That kick is up. It has the power, but it's not going to have the accuracy. It is just barely to the left. It was trying to creep back in there. And honestly, if that kick was a little bit longer, it would have been good. But we get bailed out. We don't allow anything on defense once again as we go back out on the field after the missed field goal. Is this the part where we start to pull away and start to turn this into a blowout? 1st and 10 from about the midfield logo. Hammond makes a guy miss. He's got some space to work with. Able to get across the 35-yard line. Fantastic run by Billy Hammond. And speaking of Hammond, we'll see if he can make a good passing play as well. And he does. Perry Robinson throws it to him on a rope. That's a huge 1st down. Make it 1st and goal now for the Michigan State Spartans. Russ fighting through a safety and plows right over him. That's the toughness that I'm talking about, baby. That's why I love this running back in spite of his fumbling mistakes at times. I mean, look at this run. It was him versus safety and just simply runs right through him. So now we are having a 20-point lead, and Akron had to go 3 and out. So here's a chance to even extend this lead further as Jason Higgins continues to fight upfield. He's going to pick up 9 yards on that reception. So another great start to the drive. Exactly where we want to be in these 2nd and shorts, as Billy Hammond might have had his face mask pulled. I'm surprised that the refs did not call it. They're usually pretty good about that in this game, but looks like a missed call there, as Russ is going to run the football downfield, looking to get to the outside. He's not going to pick up the 1st down, but he's really starting to heat up now. After a rough start, he's showing why he's one of the better running backs in the country. Russ, again, goes up the middle of the field for the 1st down, closing in on 100 yards. Do we give it to him again? No, we're going to fake it. Hammond, outside. He's got the blocks. He's going to get into the end zone, it looks like. And he does! Untouched in the end zone. Touchdown, Spartans. Billy Hammond on the read option runs away from the defense. And this is what we've been looking for. The talent of the depth chart starting to show. And Akron's in deep trouble now, as they desperately need to get a score on the board. We'll see if they can handle the pressure, or are they going to crack. 2nd and short. Crawford goes into the shotgun formation, looking over the middle of the field, finds Brewster. It's a short throw, but finds a way to pick up a few extra yards there. It's a 1st down for Akron. Next play, we got another 1st and 10 for this Akron squad, as Crawford again will drop back the pass. Clean pocket that he gets to work with this time around. That has been happening too terribly often, but that time around, the Akron offensive line, it does manage to hold up. And it's now going to be a 2nd and 5. Trying to remain on schedule. They go with a halfback screen, but Brandon Wiles, he's going to be all over it, and he is going to be dragged down. He was initially trying to go for the interception at first, but when he couldn't get there, he settled for the TFL. And now it's another 3rd and long. Crawford, they try to do a 2nd screen, and we were just all over it as a defense. Joshua Abrams, he's going to have nowhere to go, and let me see them force up as we come into the 4th quarter of action, up 34-7. Let's see if we can finish these guys off and try to go out there and get some of our backups into the game. So let's go ahead and jump into the 4th quarter of action. They are actually going to go for it here on 4th down, as Crawford is going to move the tight end out into motion. Dropping back on this 4th and 5 is Brewster. He's going to pick up the 1st down and then some. Somehow gets out of the wrap up by Patrick Goshwin. The whistle never blew. And here comes Akron. Third down, looking for another score. They have struggled on third down conversions though. Crawford drops back. He's looking, gets into the middle of the field, and is caught by Porter. How is that caught? Early Austin was all over him. And that is the EA gods wanting to make this a competitive game. No way would that have been completed if that was, other way around. If I threw that pass, right? But it is what it is. We're still up by 20 points, so I'm not tripping too much, but we do gotta get some time off the clock. I don't want Akron to rally back, given what EA is up to. First and 10, though. We'll throw over to the left-hand side. Cortez Mills will come down and make the catch for us. That moves us the sticks as we're on the verge of 500 yards of total offense. Can we get it on this play? And it looks like we will as we squeeze it in there for Mike Holt for the first down. We officially now have 500 yards of total offense in this football game. Can we get that with some points as well? Looks over the middle, gets it out to Jason Higgins. Haven't said his name too much today, but he's going to make an appearance here in the fourth quarter. His third catch of the day. It's now 3rd and 10. Just trying to at least get some points on board. And look at this. Cortez Mills beats his man off the press coverage. Akron was trying to press to make sure nothing, short rhythm throws are, able to be completed. But it backfires horribly. And Cortez Mills able to beat his man. Billy Hammond doing a great job recognizing the matchup as well. Is now Akron on 1st and 10. Crawford's going to look over the middle of the field. It's nearly intercepted. Kenneth Wood had his hands on the football, but just could not corral it in. Next play, 2nd and 10. Crawford will pass again. This time, throws it over the middle of the field, and it's Akeem Williams that is going to bring the play down. Let's go, baby. That is exactly how I want this football team to play, man. So with that, if we go ahead and score on this drive, I'm going to go ahead and get the backups in and sim to the end. I'm feeling pretty good about our chances of winning this game. But let's see if we can pad our stats a little bit before we go ahead and get into the end here, as Bobby Russ does officially hit 100 yards on the ground. So congratulations to Russ. But how about this throw over the middle to Marcus Wiggins? I thought that was going to be a touchdown pass, but just not quite there. But I guess we'll settle with getting Bobby Russ a touchdown on the ground before we get up out of here, as it was a tough effort, but Bobby Russ does manage to find a way to get it up in there. Touchdown, Michigan State. And I will indeed see you guys at the very end with the game stats. So eventually we were able to go ahead and get some of the backups a little bit of run in this game as we take care of business. We beat Akron. We were able to get some love from the backups as well. Gave them a little bit of playing time. As for how our players did individually, Jonathan Matthews, like I said, got a little bit of playing time, and that's going to help out when he eventually has to take over the starting job at quarterback. Billy Hammond, though, he's him, man. I'll tell you what, 26 for 35, 389 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions to go with it as well. He had a brilliant game today. As for our running game, while, running wasn't that awesome for Bobby Russ, he had to earn the yardage. He still had a 100-yard day and 2 touchdowns on the ground. Billy Hammond was also able to get a couple of touchdowns himself, 9 carries, nearly 100 yards rushing for a quarterback. You love to see that. As for the receivers, Cortez Mills got himself a couple of scores today. He had 7 catches for 105 yards. Mike Holt was also able to have a 100-yard day. In spite of the fact that he's not a receiving tight end, he's more known for that blocking. That being said, though, Wesley Johnson, the sophomore wide receiver, he was able to find the end zone in this one. 3 catches for 65 yards. Over on the defensive side of the football, it was a rough start. They were put in a bad position early, but, after that first drive that Akron had, they did settle in really well. Patrick Osborne was all over the field for us today. 7 tackles, 6 of which were solos. Early Austin ends up with 6 tackles, and then Akeem Williams, who is still coming back from injury. This is really his first game back ever since he suffered that injury that I didn't realize he suffered. So yeah, he's still dealing with that, but he did have an interception today, and that set up the opportunity for us to really go ahead and get our backups in the game. So I really appreciate that. That was the only turnover that we did end up forcing,
but we did get a couple of sacks in this one. And we hear from Blake Parsons, the true freshman, by the way, able to make something shake. 75 overall guy. He's been a nice player for us, for our program. He had a few tackles in this one. And then Brenton Wiles, the sophomore redshirt from Dover, Ohio, also ends up getting a sack as well. 3 sack tackles, 2 TFLs, and we were even on the turnover battle. And that's all we need to do against teams like an Akron. So before I go ahead and reveal some of your guys' custom prospects that were submitted for this season and have also signed on the dotted line, there's a couple of custom coach games I wanted to talk to you guys about first, starting with Mid-Tennessee State going on the road to take on Illinois, and Coach Gentry was outmatched in this one, losing 45-28 against the Fighting Illini. Illinois now number 3 in the entire country, and they're on track right now to make it to the college football playoff. As for Coach Gunner, his defense was doing enough to take down the Texas Longhorns as TCU wins 28-20. TCU now 6-1 overall and number 6 in the country as they beat a fellow top 25 team in the Texas Longhorns. But now we'll go ahead and hop right into some of your guys' custom players that have indeed signed in on the dotted line. And we're going to actually start in a unique state, Vermont, as we check out Demar Joseph, the number 4 player in the state, and also the 28th ranked strong safety in the entire class. Now, he did make his college decision. He had 1 scholarship and is going to play his college football at the Clemson Tigers. So this is a good signing. He's a solid player, and he's going to make some good plays for that program when the time comes. As for Jeff Jefferson III, he is the number 1 player in the state and also the number 9 wide receiver in this recruiting class. And this is a huge pickup for the hometown team. The Utah Utes are going to sign Jeff Jefferson III. 6'5", 241. He's got great size. He has, not the best speed necessarily. But that being said, a great red zone target here for the Utah Utes, and rightfully so, a 5-star prospect. As for Shaston Golden, he was a number 2 running back here in the state of Texas, one of 2 4-stars at the running back position within the state. But he is not staying in the state of Texas, as he is actually going to go play for the Gators of Florida. Getting a little bit of love here. Also had a scholarship offer from the Raging Cajuns, but it's a nice pickup here for the Florida Gators. Moving over now to the state of Florida, we got PJ Nitro, the Greensburg, Pennsylvania product. He is a 4-star guy, number 12 quarterback in the recruiting class, and staying in state, playing for the defending national champions Penn State. Got some pretty solid speed for a quarterback, and he's got a rocket of an arm. This was his only scholarship offer. Even at 5'11", he should be a fun player to certainly watch. Speaking of quarterbacks, Henry Sensabar is extremely close to signing. I know he's not officially a lock, but he's 94% locked in, and Army just has this in the bag at this point. So the Army Golden Knights are going to get themselves a 5-star quarterback here, and it's someone that's a pocket passer, so they definitely changed their style of football for sure. Great pickup though, as this is the number 1 quarterback in all of high school football. Down in the state of Florida, we got Paul Peters, the number 8 middle linebacker in this recruiting class. Got some good size, 6'4", 227, 80 overall he's listed at, and he was definitely sought after. Had scholarship offers from UCF, Florida International, Southern Florida, Kentucky, Florida State. A lot of guys wanted him, and only 1 school did. UCF is going to get Paul Peters, and this is a massive pickup for the Knights of Central Florida. Rounding out the players of your custom variety that have signed on the dotted line, we got the quarterback N'Kobe Bester from Hoover, Alabama, 4-star guy. He's the number 2 quarterback in this recruiting class, and not really any huge surprises here. He's going to stay in state. The Alabama Crimson Tide are going to get him. This is a nice pickup, more of a pocket passer of anything. Got a great arm. Able to, have that ability to break some tackles as well. So, there's some elements in there that he really likes. He really wants to stay close to home, and he's going to get that here playing for the Crimson Tide. So, next episode, we will take on a football team that we have not been able to go ahead and beat since we took over this head coaching job. We are taking on the Michigan Wolverines. This is a big test for us. We have not been able to beat them in this series, whether it's in the playoffs or if it's in the regular season. And that Paul Bunyan trophy, I really want to bring it home. That is one of our big objectives for this year. So let's see if we can accomplish that, but I will leave that for next episode. I hope you guys are excited for it, and if you are, make sure you go ahead, smack that like button for me. Hit that subscribe button as well if you do happen to be brand new to the channel. This is John Jet Gaming on the mic signing off, but I'm hoping you're all out there having a good one. Take care, everybody.